Hi, welcome to the .NET Core series. In the previous video, we discussed about the login and register method functionality and created a JSON and through the registered user and login in the system. And after that, we discussed about the introduction of the JWT and discuss some basics of the JWT. What is the JWT and the parts of the JWT. So in this video we are going to discuss the implementation of the JWT. So JWT is an open source. So this is, as you can see, that I have this is the URL jwt.io. So this is the default URL for the implementation of JWT, and it is an open source. Everyone that who want to implement the JWT can go through this URL, can implement JWT's token. So here is the encoded form of the JWT, and this is the decoded form. So here is the header which contains the algorithm and type JWT. So here is the payload subname and I add. Uh, and after that, in the last is the signature of the uh, JWT. So this is the decoded format and this is the encoded format. If we convert this header payload and signature data into the JWT, you can see get this type of format. So the receiving user will receive this form of data, and the receiving user will decode, and it has contained all of these information. So it validate that the user is the validate, and the user has right to access that, otherwise the user cannot access. So let's try to implement the JWT. So to implement the JWT token in your application, so first thing you have to install the ESP netcode authentication.jwt bear package and system.identity model.token.jwt. So I have already installed these two packages. Which one is the JWT, yeah, Microsoft.asp.core.authentication.jwt bear, and the second one is the identity model.token.jwt. So you can after installation you can implement the JWT. So first thing in the implementation is the configure app setting for the JWT token. So to do this, I have created one configuration setting for the JWT. So I have to just copy this and go to the app setting.json file. So I have to just put it here. As you can see that here is the issuer audience key and the duration. So through this you can you this is the JWT setting. So the issuer is the name of the app where the token is issued from. So in this case, our app is the sample app, and audience is that which is consuming the key. So who is the audience which is going to consuming this JWT token? So audience is the I can name it the web API. So what is the key? So I have to I can add this key for the you can add any key. So I am for the testing purpose I have added this key. See if user had this key, so which validate the user is right. So last one is the duration. Duration means the expiration of the tokens. After some time, when token will be expired. So this is the duration. One indicate that the our token will be expired after 1 minute. You can increase it just like I have 60. After 60 minutes, the token will be expired. So and the next thing is to configure services and JWT. So add a user use authentication middleware before user use authorization middleware. So I have just I added these user authentication and user authorization. So I don't have to add these. So and I have to configure the uh, JWT setting and register services in my program.cs files. So I have to just copy this all and paste it in the just here. So that I have to describe all these. Just remove the add the references here. So let's start. So here is the builder services authentication. So which contain the default authentication scheme and the default challenge scheme. So these are the default jailbreak their default authentication scheme and so which is used when user log into the system trying to log into the system or accessing any menus or access any sources of the system. So this will validate the user has the right to access that mean user has the JWT token or not. So if user don't have the token, so it will user don't have, cannot access the relevant module or cannot do any activity in the system. So when authentication make sure you are using the barrier scheme mean anybody who is attempting to access anything that we are secured must provide availability there. So mean uh, any user those have the JWT token or JWT bearer can access the system and the irrelevant user or unauthorized user cannot access the system with those who has no JWT token. So here is the barrier implementation authentication tier here. So in this we are mentioning the valid signing key and true. We are validating all the items that we have defined in the app setting, issuer audience and key. So you can see that here is the issuer audience signing key, audience, issuer and validate lifetime. So here is a clock skew to is time span 0 that is huge difference between time between two computers. So in here, I mean one computer generated token computer and the audience who is going to use the token. So it is used to differentiate between the time these two computers. So valid issuers and valid audience and issuer signing key. These are configuration reading for we are reading all these items from the app setting.json file. So on the top we are configure two and two means if those things are not in the JWT token, so user don't access the thing. So in the end we are reading all these items from the JWT token to validate the user has these items or not. So, and the next thing is to generate the JWT token. So for this, I have already created this method, and I have to just copy this method and move to the I have to move the account controller and just paste it here. So add references users profile, not the user profile. So add references for that, all of these. And now I have to add result dependencies for the configuration. So I have to just copy method and paste it here, add the configuration, create table for that, and pass in constructor, and then initialize it. So as you can see that the issues are resolved. So yeah, as you can see that I have to generate the token. If user is false, we are returning the user is unauthorized. Else token equal to the user. We will have to pass the user in it, and this method will generate the token and return the token. So I have to create the one model that will contain the tokens and the user some information. So we have to add one detail. Just give it name to response detail. And so the response detail will have the field, sorry, string email. I have just copy and paste. user ID add token string. So now the login method will return the response DTO. So I have to create the object where will be the user dot where token string will be the token that is coming from here and user ID is equal to dot ID. So, and I have to just return here the response. So you can see that in this video we implement some logic for to implement the JWT token. Now I have to test the is our application is generated the token or not. So for this I have to run the project. So project ran successfully and you can see the here the Swagger UI and I am going to create the user and just hit and after user created we will I have to add it password and just copy. You can see that user created successfully because the response code is the 200 just and I have to log in this with this user and this is the email and password just execute it. Is the exception. I just have to fix it. Okay, I have found the exception here. I think there may be the name issue. So I have to just copy this and paste, replace all the JWT settings. So Just register. So I have put the email and password. Previously we register the user and just try to click on the execute button and just now you can see that this is the token. So token generated successfully. So just continue. So the login method return the token. So in this video we implement token creation implementation method, and now we have created token successfully. So thanks for watching the video, and in the next video we will move on the our next endpoint our of our project. So thanks for watching video.